Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the 6th group. My name is Nadia Adelia and my partner is Rida Nurmala. In this opportunity, we would like to tell you about sentence as argument. And here's the outline, such as full statement clauses, question, infinitive, and gerund clauses, verbal nouns, non-factual clauses, comparing type of clauses, and syntactic ambiguity. Sentence as argument. An argument can also be a predication, a real or potential fact, and such an argument is expressed as a clause, a sentence that is embedded in another sentence. In other words, we can make statement and question about facts. For example, he knows that I opened the letter. First, full statement clauses, a clause that has dash characteristic, subject pronoun, a subject full. Possibility of verb modification is a full clause. A combination of adjective and preposition may be followed by an abstract complement. The same adjective may have a clause as complement, in which case the preposition disappears. Clauses can also occur in subject position. Note that the subject of the clause, if a personal pronoun, must be a subject form, one of the group, such as I, he, she, we, they, not me, him, her, us, them, and the verb of the clause can have all the modification of the main verb. For example, I know that Sarah waits for Sally. It can be waited for Sally, or is waiting for Sally, had been waiting for Sally, or should have waited for Sally. 2. Question, infinitive, and gerund clauses. Question clauses. Question as well as statement are embedded in another sentence. For example, I wonder when the concert was. When was the concert? Asta doesn't know what time it is. What time is it? Do you remember when you put the ticket? Where did you put the ticket? 2. Infinitive clauses. The sentence with expect contains one kind of reduced clause, an infinitive clause. For example, the Eagles expect to win the game. 3. Gerund clauses. A gerund clause has a verb with the suffix "ing". Note that the following paired sentence in which the same verb is followed by infinitive clause and gerund clause. For example, Ruth heard a baby crying. 3. Verbal nouns. The kind of constructions they appear in the subject of the verbal noun is typically possessive, and the object of the verbal noun is preceded by, of example, we applauded Marcus winning of the race. The next material will be presented by Rida Nurmala.
Okay, thank you so much, Nadia, for your explanation. I'm Rida. Here I will explain to you about non-factual clauses. The non-factual clauses, the presence or absence of the ending as with I, you, or a plural subject, this distinction is lost. For example, I insist that Lina work very hard. The factual clause can have various modifications of the verb. For example, I insist that Lina works very hard. However, the non-factual clauses has no such modifications, just work. The next one is comparing types of clauses. Different kinds of clauses can present different kinds of meanings. But this is obvious only when the same predicate can be accompanied by different kinds of clauses. The verb agree, for instance, can be followed by an infinitive clause and full clause. For example, We agreed to meet again the next day. And the next is syntactic ambiguity. A sentence may include syntactic ambiguity, which is different from the lexical ambiguity and referential ambiguity. Syntactic ambiguity may be in the surface structure of the sentence, words and cluster together in different possible constructions. Syntactic ambiguity may also be in the deep structure. One sequence of words may have more than one interpretations, generally because the rules of sentence construction allow ellipses, the deletions of what is understood. So here the kinds of surface structure. The first one is construction containing the coordinators and or. A coordinate head with one modifier, a head with a coordinate modifier, a head with an inner modifier and an outer modifier, and then a complement and modifier or two complements, and the last is certain functions words including not. So the conclusions is just as limited vocabulary research leads sometimes to lexical ambiguity. We have syntactic ambiguity because grammatical research are limited. The same sequence of lexemes can be grouped into different constructions or surface structure ambiguity, or a sequence of lexemes can result from ellipses in the representation of two different proportions or deep structure ambiguity. We may be aware of ambiguity and then seek to exploit it or to avoid it. Just as often, it seems we rely on context to interpret utterance and fail to recognize that more than one meaning is there. That's all from our presentation. Thank you so much.